Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 106 of the Party Invite Podcast. We appreciate you being here. That's why we sent you an invitation. My name is Tegan. Over here, I'm joined by Vilos
I guess so.
and Sovereign.
Hello.
Chris is out today, but if you stuck around on Twitch this week, maybe you saw him playing some Skyrim for the very first time, might I add. I really enjoyed watching that. Our boy himself beat Bleak Falls Barrows, the first real dungeon in that game, and we're really proud of him. You know, things went well, and he can't join us tonight, but I wanted to shout him out because I really enjoyed watching that. Hopefully we'll see some more of Chris next Tuesday. But here we are. It's Thursday night, so that means it's video podcast time and game stream after we tell you what we've been playing and talk a little party topic news with not Breath of the Wild, the Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda footage. We saw 10 minutes of that. Well, you guys did. I did not. I have watched zero footage, so I will be going in blind, which will be great for everybody who's listening who also knows nothing. Hopefully I'll have some useful questions for you. But that's later in the show. Let's get started with a little blissing up. Talking about something that made us smile this week. So I just mentioned Chris streaming Skyrim. I, of course, really enjoyed that. Chris was excited to play that because he played the Diablo 4 beta over the weekend. And I know if he was here, he'd want to tell you all about it. As an outsider, I did not play the beta, but Diablo 4 has not been on my radar at all. I have pretty much not cared any amount because I got burned so bad after Diablo 3. That game just had nothing in it for me that I just didn't care. So coming out of this past weekend where pretty much overwhelmingly everyone said they liked it, varying degrees, but most people that certainly spoke up in our community had strong positive opinions on that. That's really exciting to me. I loved Diablo 2 when I was a kid, which is why it made the bummer of Diablo 3, personally. A lot of people liked it, not me. It made that bummer so much worse. So for this to rebound, we don't know what the end game or any of that's going to look like. I think you could get to level 20 or 25 or something. Correct me in chat if I'm wrong. But it's exciting to see that IP good again. You know, it's just always nice when people can almost unanimously agree that something is a good thing and it can be enjoyed without this, like, very common subtext that so many games have, which is like, maybe there's crunch culture. It's Blizzard, and Blizzard's been in hot water over the past several years, especially. It was nice to be able to come together and say positive things about the game without an overwhelming negative thing looming over that beta. Sorry. So just really excited to see people happy about that. Diablo 2 is near and dear. And I think I might buy this game now, but it's not going to be a day one for me. I still want to make sure that that it'll be worth it for me, because I'm not going to play Diablo 4. Excuse me. I'm not going to play Diablo 4 without teammates. I'm just not going to play by myself. So whether I can find a crew who's going to play with me and not just like over level past me, that's the kicker, and that's the tough part. Because if a game is good, people want to keep playing. They don't want to wait for their friend, So we'll see. But yeah, hyped about that. Feeling good about that release, and Chris was here, he'd be talking about it. So yeah, I mean, I could say some more stuff, but that's really the standout for me this week. Maybe this is the moment. Actually, you know what? I have something else I'll say, but I'm gonna save it for my what we've been playing. So how about you guys? Why don't you go first?
Yeah. Kind of to piggyback on that, I saw a tweet online that was about Diablo's beta, and it was about this. It was from this girl who she was just overjoyed, like super overcome with emotion, because like she finally had representation in the game, like by default. She was like this really heavyset girl with like short hair and things like that, and like she could never find her hair type or her body figure, like any kind of representation at all in any character creator. And she basically made her character. Well, her character was generated. I think it was randomly generated, is how it worked. It generated all the characters, and then you picked from whatever was there. But in the game, you might be able to customize. I don't know how it works 'cause I haven't played.
Like
Um,
it gave you like a lineup
yeah,
to
it
choose
would
from.
give you a lineup, and then you would just choose your class basically, and then do that.
That's
This
cool.
is only going from what I know and what I've seen. I haven't played the demo, so I could be wrong. But she picked out her character, and it looked just like her, and she was just like, "This is the best thing ever. I've never had this happen. Like, thank you so much." And it's crazy how people like to like pew pew like on representation. But that hashtag representation matters does exist for a reason. People like to see themselves in video games, and when they're finally represented in that fashion, especially if they're like an underserved community or a minority community, then um, it makes a difference. And for a game like this specifically, with everything that's happening under Blizzard's umbrella, to still be able to instill that kind of emotion in people who are like the victims of the things that are happening underneath Blizzard's umbrella
Hmm.
is really significant, and I think it shows change in a good direction for what's going on behind the scenes that maybe we don't see.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to actually maybe find some way to give this a shot because it does cost money, and I'm still not giving Blizzard my money yet. So I do want to try it out somehow because I do have friends who work at Blizzard, and I know that they're good people, and I don't know. It's such a conflict, but I'm glad to see that they're going in the right direction. It seems, that we've seen.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear.
But no, go ahead.
Well, yeah, you've talked about character creators, especially for people of color. Just like you said, hairstyles, and it's like some games will start to get there, but they just don't go far enough for it to really be good. I mean, I remember when Miles Morales came out, people were like, "Cool," except why is this the most basic haircut you could ever give? And I don't. This is not me personally. I don't. I don't. It
Well, I
doesn't.
mean, I've made some jabs at it before, like the half up, half kink, hairdo that the Bangalore hairstyle or whatever. The
Yep, Bangalore and Sojourn. It's
and
just
so you're,
like,
oh
hey,
my
just because
god,
you're some badass black chick doesn't mean you have one hairstyle to pick from. Where it's just that it's like, well, whatever. It's like I haven't even
like the
seen.
right people aren't in the room is the problem.
Yes, yeah, because it's just it's like if I went and made a character creator, how close am I gonna get? And why am I in charge of making these characters? Like I'm one perspective. If the whole point of diversity is to like bring those ideas into the room where they weren't before, right? Like um, something I really thought was interesting that I heard on like an NPR interview a while ago was that in the pursuit of diversity, like because diversity isn't just something you should do to check a box somewhere, right? Diversity is a stepping stone to get somewhere better, right? Like diversity is not the goal. Diversity is, how you get there. And it was talking about hiring to get the best outcome for your company. Because if you have diverse ideas, then you have better ideas. If everyone thinks the same way, you might get the best version of that one idea. But by not cross pollinating different kinds of ideas and backgrounds and checks, you're not going to have the best overall version of what you're trying to reach. So if you look at it purely from a corporate standpoint, diversity is very valuable because you'll have a better product. So what I heard this person in an interview say was that when you're hiring someone to find the best fit for the role doesn't mean that you should always hire the person with the most experience or anything like that. You actually want to find someone with those diverse backgrounds, hire them, and then put them in with your team because they will grow into the best version of that hire, right? Because if you only hire someone based on their previous experience, you are automatically and often accidentally excluding a lot of people who could be the best fit from the job for the job. They just aren't the best on day one before you've hired them. And so it essentially says you bring those people into the room and you will get the best product. But if you only hire the person with the best resume, you won't actually get the best person for the job. So like you said, those people aren't in the room. That's because a lot of people who have that experience are hired because of their resume, not because of what they, it's hard to say on a resume all of the good that you can bring to a company, without just being like, hey, look, I'm not white. I'm not a white man. Please hire me. And for some places that can actually work, but that can also be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And depending on who's hiring you, you might, not
I
want to
mean,
do that.
I've had some experience in that regard, but that's neither here nor there. But I like that idea that, you said the term cross-pollination. I like that because it creates the perfect analogy because, when you're getting like a floral arrangement, yeah, a bouquet of like all the same flower is nice and it's pretty and it definitely gets the job done. But for like the perfect floral arrangement, I'm talking about like as an art, not like as a competition or anything like that, or, as the centerpiece at a wedding. I'm talking about the actual art of flower arrangement. Different flowers mean different things, bring different like connotations with their languages and whatnot, and also come together as a whole aesthetically to create this like perfect, you know, arrangement.
Mm.
So I think that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like in each the differences make them better, right? Like you said, if it was all the same flower, then it'd be like, wow, those very specific singular flowers look cool, But like you said, it's an art to find the arrangement um, that makes it better. In chat, No Hugs for You says, don't hire somebody based on their qualifications. Hire someone who best fits the needs of the group. And I think a lot of people in management positions struggle with that, which is why diversity is such a contentious issue. Because your gut tells you to do one thing, but data and people will tell you another. Anyway, he said to follow up. No Hug says, "I'm qualified to say this because I've hired exactly 0 people in my life." Same. But anyway, yeah, diversity and inclusion really matter, and to the extent of character creators, I mean, that's a really easy thing to point to and Sav. Like, we've had entire streams of you just creating characters, especially the Naraka Blade Point one.
Oh, that was so much
It
fun.
was really good. But yeah, it's an easy way to talk about why diversity is really important, and it's a reason that we have the show. We want to put the good out into the universe because people thrive on that. So yeah, we're glad everybody's
And we
here.
we said all that without even getting to my actual Bliss and Up too.
A lol.
But it does segue perfectly into it because speaking of diverse, one of the like most diverse casts in like one of the most fun movies that I've ever seen like in recent times, and I say recent as in like 10, 15 years ago, is getting an anime adaptation, and that is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah,
And you might
baby.
say, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of white people in there, but there's like a lot of Asian people in there. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of women in there, which is super important. Um, so all of the original returning cast is coming back to voice all of the characters, which made me realize something. The Katayanagi twins don't ever talk in the movie. In the movie, like they announced the set list
Yep.
or the cast list and everything, and they're
Yeah.
like,
They
everyone's
just
reprising their roles, and they just look at each other.
they're just straight battle mode. That's it.
Yeah, I never realized that until I saw that cast announcement.
Their mics were muted the whole time. Shame.
I mean, wow, are they on our podcast?
Zing.
So that made me really happy because Anna Managuchi's also returning to score the thing. So it's like literally like the most loved project a thing can be. It's also got Brian Lee O'Malley and the director, the original director of the
Edgar
movie,
Wright.
whose name, thank you, Edgar Wright. I did not remember his name because Brian Lee O'Malley is really the one I care about anyway. So um, I'm super excited about that. I don't know when
I
it's
don't
coming. There's not any like footage as far as I know, but they have just made the announcement and what all.
like I don't have any qualms with it if it is, but I don't know how they don't just make it a 1-to-1 to the movie. That's my only concern with it. It's like how do you
I
like
mean,
are you gonna actually make a series so you actually get to tell more of the story from the manga?
have
Like,
you guys experienced the game at all? I have not.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite beat 'em ups.
Is the
Not the
game?
Nintendo Switch version because it is not playable online.
Oh, rip. Was that a 1-to-1, so to speak? I mean, was that the movie just in the game, or was it other stuff going on?
No.
I feel like it was closer to the manga actually.
Yeah. It was way closer to that.
Yeah, because I mean, you meet Roxy like out on in the yard or whatever, and then you fight her on the train. I think that's more close to the actual manga.
Plus it just being the quick brawler thing, like there's no segue, like there's no real transition. It's just the 30 seconds in between each fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Yeah, no hugs. There is a game also by Anamanaguchi. The soundtrack for that is Anamanaguchi, so that's pretty dope.
fun fact, Anamanaguchi also scored a lot of the Bit Trip games.
Oh, they did. I discovered Anamanaguchi before I really knew who Scott Pilgrim was. I mean, I think that's a true statement. It was a long time ago. But yeah, whenever I think of Anamanaguchi, I think of that. There's a track from the game called Cheap Shop that I have in my gaming
I
rotation.
love that track.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a cool
We're
one.
gonna get
That's
the
a good
MC
one.
in. Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I saw Scott Pilgrim in theaters like I don't know, like 2 years ago. It was near the beginning of COVID, and we watched it outside. Screenland Dharma in Kansas City played it on their back wall in the parking lot.
Oh, that sounds
It
awesome.
was great, and I didn't expect the movie to hold up so perfectly well after all that time. It was great. Like honestly, I don't think I had appreciated how good that movie was until I saw it again recently. So yeah, hype for that. So did we get? I saw that it's happening. Do we have any more information besides
I just
the
saw
cast
the
list?
announcement. I didn't look any deeper into it, so I don't know.
Well, cool. Well,
I
that's
don't
good
think
enough.
there's anything else.
Yeah, they would have had it front page, I think, if there was a thing. Well, dope. That's something we can all enjoy that. Who hates Scott Pilgrim? If you do, you're banned.
Honestly, that's a really good question. I
Literally.
don't think I've met anyone who does not like that movie. I mean, I
I
mean specifically the movie. I don't mean the manga because not a lot of people actually know the manga exists.
I
I
didn't
have
until
met a
this
couple
podcast.
people, but I don't like them. So
Oh, wait, you met a couple people that don't like the movie?
yeah,
Oh, well, then you're justified. Yeah, don't like
Yeah,
it.
that's a
Yeah.
red flag. So yeah, you did the right
Yeah,
thing.
honestly. In 2023, yeah, that's definitely a red flag.
I hate fun.
Well, hell yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Vilos, this is the part where you make a joke about it being a short podcast, and we're already like 20 minutes in, and we haven't even,
I mean, I can say my thing in about 15 seconds. So
Can you say it 300 times in about 15 seconds, though?
no, I
I
definitely
mean, even if you
didn't.
just screamed a syllable. You...
Yeah, mine for Blissing Up. I just wanted to put that I am happy that Xenoblade 3 got its day.
Yeah,
And
baby.
that I no longer have to say Xenoblade Chronicles 300 times as a gift to the lovely subs that we have.
Hell yeah.
Um,
It was legendary.
yeah, that was a 3.5 hour stream, something like that,
That sounds right.
that I did last week, and yeah, a surprising amount of people came in. I know there were some lurkers that we've never seen before, so that's fun. Still, I have like 1.5 people to talk to about Xenoblade, so I need more people to do that.
You hear that, chat? If you guys out in the ether, if you know somebody who wants to talk anime and JRPGs, specifically JRPGs, with Vilos here,
And cat girls. Don't forget those.
yes, and cat girls.
Yeah, that's part of the whole fucking
Yeah,
package.
it's
Yeah.
very important.
I think the last thing that Vilos said on stream was, "Man, I love cat girls. They're cats and they're girls. What's not to like?"
I do have to say I have some bad news for you, Vilos, because you said
Mm-mm.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That puts you over the 300 limit, unfortunately. And so you've said
You
too
reset.
much without while going over. It's like the Price is Right rules. So you're
Right.
disqualified and you have to actually redo it again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Great. Looking forward to that.
Then
Yeah.
breaks, I don't make the rules.
We had a blast.
It's in the
doing
end user
that.
license agreement. We already talked about that earlier. So
I just clicked the button. I didn't fucking read it. I know.
Well, hell yeah. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, no kidding though. Vilos is always on the hunt for more people he can talk to about those games. So, word of mouth is the best way for us to spread. So go get him. We got to get this guy some pals. We got to build this friend list, So cool. Yeah, we all have a bunch of stuff that made us smile this week. We took the week off last week, which is when Vilos got to do the Xenoblade 3 stream. You can still see that here on our VOD on Twitch. Vilos, will that ever see the light of day on YouTube?
I don't know that it's interesting enough for YouTube.
Okay, fair
honestly.
enough. Fair enough.
But
Well,
yeah.
hopefully we'll see some more weird stuff like that, and we really appreciate everybody who tuned in because when you guys show up for that stuff, it encourages us to do more weird shit, And I had a lot of fun, so we look forward to doing some more weird stuff in the future. Okay, well, let's move on to what we've been playing. We've got, I think, one apiece, roughly. Devi, you played something new, or Sav. Vilos, you played something I don't recognize, and then I pretty much played the same stuff. All I would say is I played Valheim. It was cool. I've been playing it with a couple people. I think we're gonna play once a week now consistently, which is nice. Valheim. We play tons of survival games here in this community, including Sons of the Forest, Project Zomboid. They're both in the rotation right now. I'm looking forward to getting into Don't Starve again at some point. We love that stuff, but Valheim was a game that I got left in the dust on multiple servers because people just played way past where my character was, and so I was just basically running through and picking up the loot off the ground, basically, which was not a very fun way to play a survival game because I know there's no threat, and if there's no threat, then triumph means nothing to me. So I'm excited to play Valheim with a couple people who are very new to it, and one person who's very new to the genre. So that's been nice. We're at the very beginning. Just like every time I play a game like this, I spend most of my time building. It's great. I'm really loving it. We built a structure that's in perfect view of the mountain with snow on it. So we've got that. We've got a cliff behind us, and then we got the dark forest with cool looking trees right next to us, or the black forest. It's called. So yeah, that.
Oh, okay.
It's a step towards representation, but really it was a misstep. Everyone agrees. It just doesn't. It doesn't cut it. But yeah, Valheim's good. It's just the same chill game I wanted it to be. I'm hoping to purposefully, slowly go through and see this game to the end. I've enjoyed playing on other servers with people who've cruised to the in-game content. But the toughest thing for me in a survival game is to play with people who are progressing way faster than me. So fortunately, I think I've got a crew that's as slow as I am, essentially, which is just what I need, just what I want, just what I need. So, been playing Valheim. That's pretty much it. We did Sons of the Forest. We made some cool progress there. Played some Zomboid.
How's that hang glider ramp coming?
Oh, it is coming along so well. Our hang gliding ramp is huge, and because I didn't know this item was in the game, I'm not going to spoil it on chat, but we got an excellent tool for making things more efficient, and I'm really excited about it.
That said, I think the ramp officially exceeds the size of what's it called, the Ferris wheel in London. I'm pretty sure it exceeds the height
The
and
Big
width of
O?
that.
No, wait, that's Tokyo.
But
No,
I would bet money that it's officially bigger in scale.
I would.
Officially. Like
I bet it.
it's
I bet it is.
huge.
It's turning into a pyramid just because we want to. There's not a real reason to have a structure so big. But we all did get the achievement, or if you haven't, you can by logging in and placing one log. The achievement for having a structure that exceeds 1,000 logs. Woo!
Oh my god.
That's a lot. And you get like 4 to 6-ish logs per tree. So it's a lot. It's
Y'all really hopped onto this indigenous island and just deforested everything. Look, the American dream in real time, everybody.
Although I will say, like right now, with the tools that we have, like we basically just explode a fucking tree in 1 second now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
They just pop.
It's honestly, it's dangerous to even be working in the same area because the trees now fall so quickly that there's a pretty good chance you're gonna get hit.
We were doing it in the dark the other night, and we were all just like, ah! Like, watch what you doing.
Yeah, it's
But you guys actually played the game at night?
we actually one of the nights, or twice in our last session, I think, we were running around in the actual darkness because we came out of the caves at night.
We fucked up.
Oh.
So there's a clip. Well, actually, they're in our Discord. I need to put them on other places, but there's a clip of us building a log cabin in record speed, in record time. But for some reason, it wouldn't allow us to place a bed inside. Still not sure why that was the case. But by the time that we were ready to fix the problem, the sun was already out, so we didn't even need the cabin anymore. So I, just threw a grenade in there, and poof, the whole thing.
Did what you do best.
That's right. I threw a grenade, and I called it, about a quarter of a second before it blew up. I'm pretty good at that. But watching that thing confetti just inspires me now. I can't wait until we're finished with that pyramid so we can place one person on every side. And
Well, we can make so many time bombs.
count to
Oh my
3.
God.
Yeah, we can. So, yeah.
Oh, you guys have to let me know when that happens. I want to be there for that.
Oh, we will be very loud when that's going to happen.
I want to place my
Yeah.
one log.
Yeah.
And I
Placement one, like-
helped.
so yeah, looking forward to that. So Sons of the Forest is great. What was something else? Because what we've been playing, when we design this, we like kind of try to aim for like 15 minutes a person. We usually like vastly succeed that. I think I'm about 10 minutes right now, so I want to use a few of my minutes to say E3's canceled, baby. That is not something I played, but I still have the floor, so I'm doing it. For anybody who missed it, E3 was officially canceled for 2023 this year. There was a lot of speculation after Ubisoft, I think, just dropped out like days ago, essentially, and things have been up in the air. PAX East, no, GDC.
PAX East and GDC both happened in the past week and a half.
So in that time, our friend Reb Valentine over at IGN, she said that when she was at the convention, it was weird that people kept coming up and asking her and others if they had more details on this other event 2 months in the future so that they could plan for it, because it was the future of E3 was so unclear this year specifically. Like E3's role in the industry has been kind of weird for at least 5 years, at least. But this is the first year they've officially canceled it, because I don't even think they canceled it during COVID. They just went online, if I remember that correctly. But anyway, yeah, that's funny more than anything, because as everybody backs out of E3, they're not like, oh, we're not interested in a presentation. It's more like, we're not interested in your presentation. We're going to go do one across the street, basically, with all of Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Sega, and Tencent all saying they're out. So they officially canceled it today, but who cares, kind of? Who cares that E3 itself will be gone, because in its place is already Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest.
Yes.
Which happens on, I don't know.
For better or worse, I feel like we will never get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made the
He's
post
gonna be
immediately
like
on
the
the
new
announcement.
Ryan Seacrest. He's the Ryan Seacrest of games.
That's
He's
not.
at least better than Seacrest.
He is, but that's not that far off.
For now.
Well, we'll see. I think he's definitely, like, no matter who comes on the scene, I think he's definitely the lesser of whatever evils that are presented.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because his problems are not that he's, like, a bad person. It's that being a big name and close to being, like, corporate in a space like this poses lots of complications. And navigating those complications is hard. So, there might be some goofy, sometimes awkward things happening related to this, the Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards. But I like Jeff. I think his heart's in the right place, and to me that goes, that's enough to cover up any the small missteps that are made here and there. But yeah, I'm excited for that. The Summer Games Fest covers almost exclusively indies, or I think exclusively indies. And then you've got the other names: Sony, Microsoft. Microsoft has
Capcom. It'll be Capcom and Devolver will have huge ones.
Yeah, they all have like their like digital. I mean, they're all called directs now because thanks Nintendo. But like they're going to be doing that kind of presentation, right?
Yeah, and that way they have complete control over what they do. I mean, look how successful Devolver's presentation has been, even while it was planned during E3. So they were directly competing with E3 for that, and look how successful that could be, because they were able to make a presentation that you can only do if you're in complete control. Especially because you don't have any rules to break, so you can do some weird shit. But yeah, so while E3 is taking the year off, and as far as I'm concerned, they may just be going upstate to the farm in New York. I wouldn't be sad if E3 never came back, because all the things that are popping up in its place seem like an evolution of what E3 was. So I don't need E3 anymore, because look at all the stuff that we have now as a result that I think is better than what E3, used to be.
It's that cross-pollination. It's coming back.
Yeah.
You have the floral arrangement instead of like the big singular bouquet.
That's true. Now it's just going to be a matter of like seeing where those schedules line up, because I don't want to have to. There's a whole weekend. I don't want to have to miss something because I'm watching something else. So I'm really hoping that they'll somehow coordinate and make it so that I don't miss anything. I can just watch all of it. And that said, I think I'm gonna request the time off from work for E3 because I've loved in this community having watch parties with everybody and reacting either in text or voice chat in real time as stuff happens. I love watching those world premieres. This is when you cue Chris saying world premiere.
We honestly need to put that on Blurb.
We
Can
do.
we
You
make
know
our
what?
own?
I'll actually, yes, there are things we could do. I'll actually talk to Chris this weekend because it's high time that we had a world premiere sound alert. Yeah, so excited for all that. There's lots of good stuff there, and indies continue to get a bigger and bigger spotlight shown on them. So I'm nothing but excited for the not E3 this year. So if that's you and you like reacting to that stuff in real time, won't you please join us? Just like when we blow up our base in Sons of the Forest, we will be very loud about when that's coming up. So just stay tuned to our socials. All right, well, that's definitely my 15 minutes. So now I'll let you guys talk about stuff. Let's see, Vilos, if I could actually skip to you. You have it
Yeah.
listed here. This game is called Love Hero.
Yep.
I've never heard of this one, so
It sounds like a game, but it's
Honestly,
not that kind of game.
I was gonna say, it sounds very amorous.
So it's actually, if you can see if the focus works, uh, it's actually the
Hold on, wait.
prequel. Oh yeah, you have something for this. There we go. So, Love Hero is actually the prequel to the Queen's TV game that I talked about on the last podcast.
Oh,
And so, let's see what we got here.
here we go. That's a little bigger.
I'm going to try
Doubled
to
up.
make it loud here real quick. Okay. So, see if we can hear. Okay, so as you can see, it is just another very 8-bitty sort of thing.
Wait, is that?
So
the song sounded familiar. It sounded like.
I almost beat it last night, all right? But I didn't because
that
this
does sound
game
familiar.
is hard. All right?
Is
So you're
that
going
a
to see
floppy disk?
it is a floppy disk.
This
So
has a
again,
very
it's got a
similar
timer on the bottom
UI.
screen.
It has a similar UI to the game you talked about last time. The
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he said it was a sequel.
Oh, well, I should have been listening. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the prequel, and so this particular game is mostly just shooting, and I can't do it like this because of
Wow, that's not the
angle.
optimal way to play.
But as you can see, it is just a challenging thing. That's it. Just a challenging shooter. But just like the last one, the timer at the bottom sits there and mocks you, and it goes from, I think the beginning was like 2.5 minutes, and then this mode was 3.5 minutes, if I remember correctly, 3.5 or 4 minutes, and it's just a challenge of your patience. Clearly, I'm not patient enough anymore to play those kind of games, but I'm trying because if I can complete that level and the next one, then I have it beaten. But it's one of those things. It's just an old school trial to do, and it again was the very last thing I bought on the eShop. So um, there's that. I spent $1.50 total, I think, on the two games from them. Actually, no, sorry, $3.50 on 3 games because I got the other one that's like it's called Galaxy Girl Pain or something like that. It makes no sense title wise.
No, that's
but
everybody knows what that means.
That
no, I don't understand why yet. But again, I'm playing them backwards for no real reason. But they're very weird, just straight up purposefully difficult. And I think that one's actually supposed to have an actual narrative to it, more so than this one, because this one you unlock a level, or you beat a level and you unlock a museum piece, which is just an image of something. And in this game, it's like I think the first one's like a stethoscope or something, and it's just like, okay,
What?
I earned that. all right.
I
It's
know
very
I
weird.
love it. No, I'm not gonna. But do you
Yeah.
have the receipt though?
Yeah. And so I'm really just playing it for the save file and for the lols, but it's one of those things that
Yeah.
I can technically get done quickly, you know.
Game's technically done quick.
If I don't throw my 3DS out the fucking window, that's the key.
So how many? So I mean, did you pick up that game specifically because the shop is no longer available at this
Yeah,
point?
yeah. It was one of those things, and it was the 3 games that are on there. I forget what the publisher's name is for some reason, but the publisher literally made these exclusive. Like it's just 3DS exclusive games, so that were only available on the shop. So I was like, yeah, let's go, let's do this, especially after playing the first one.
Sav, I'm reading chat. Is the hashtag actually just called a hash?
Yes.
What?
It's the phrase is called hashtagging because you're tagging a phrase with the hash.
Oh gosh, that's they don't teach you that in school. They should. You know.
Like you want to play press hashtag on the phone. I'm sorry, what? The what? No,
So we're
that's not
talking
what it is,
about
honey.
we're talking about hashtags. The number signs versus the save icon floppy disk that Vilo showed at the beginning of the demonstration there. Well, Vilos, would you recommend this game to anyone?
God, no. And you can't get it now anyway, so like fuck off. That's what the eShop says.
Well, here's the real question though. Like you said, it's a sequel to that Queen TV game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When you lose, does it still say fuck?
Not on this one. This one actually is in Japanese.
Oh, so it say kuso?
It's in Kirigana actually.
Well, yeah,
Wait.
show me. I want to see.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know
Hold
what
on,
that
let
one
me max
says.
you up. It says sayonara. It says goodbye.
There we go.
Oh,
That's what it
get
says
wrecked.
Sayonara.
at the end of
Yeah, that's
each,
Japanese for get repped. Get wrecked. Oh, jeez.
Get ripped.
I can't even.
Any of those.
Oh, how embarrassing. Okay, well, that is Love Hero. I mean, how much did you pay for that? Like $2?
Yeah, this one was like $1 or $2. But yeah, you could get all 3 games for under $3 total.
What a deal.
Good, yeah.
Good.
Nostalgia already.
Did you say good or could?
Both.
It's not like you could get this. Could.
You could have gotten this.
Vilos,
you can't now.
Before the shop was closed, Vilos only
So
asked
sorry.
himself if he could. He never asked if he should.
You right.
That's the lesson.
Decisions are made under that principle, though. So.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
I'm about to try to beat this level again, and I'm going to fail in about 1 minute. So there we go.
Well, sayonara.
Goodbye. Okay, well, while Vilos finishes beating Love Hero, Sav, you got a new one here. I have, not unlike most of the times that you talk about a new game, I have never heard of this one.
That's a tradition we have here.
That's right.
In around 7 months, people are going to be playing this game.
No, in 7 months, everyone's going to start playing it, and then a month after that, they'll say that actually we're done with this game and we're going to work on a new project.
Sovereign curse.
Hash Splitgate.
After everyone spends
it
all
would
their
still be
past money.
hashtag because you're tagging Splitgate.
Oh yeah, at least it's not multiverse. Yeah, where they're like, hey, by the way, we're going dark.
Did they
for a
ever
little bit.
actually leave open beta? I'm pretty sure it was just in perpetual open beta like Splitgate was.
I think.
No, Splitgate actually left.
Yeah,
beta.
it did. It went 1.0 around the time that Rogue Company went 1.0. I think, because in my head we played a lot of those around the same time. I'm not the most reliable person at recalling dates, so I could be wrong. But yeah, I do know that both of those games hit 1.0 a while ago because we made a big. What's the opposite of make a stink? What's you make? I don't know. Got some hoopla. I don't know. We were. Oh, let me get Vilos off the main screen here. We're getting his reacts in real time. Yeah. Splitgate was dope, but then they were just like, oh yeah, actually we're gonna move on to our next thing. So I'm hoping that when the world finally catches on to veiled experts, that we'll have a chance to really play it and not lose it into the ether like multiverses for the next year.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that this game is going to at least have some kind of shelf life because it's published by the same people who are most like known for Maple Story, I think, which is Nexon. Um, and Nexon's actually behind the finals as well. They published that too, which just finished its like beta period not too long ago. I remember playing it for the first time on the last day that they had it, and it was a lot of fun. It was basically like a really arcadified VR with like a tournament bracket system, and then when you shot people, they like died into coins, which was really cool and segues back around to Scott Pilgrim.
Nice.
But this game is Veiled Experts, which is, I mean, I guess the best way I could describe it is like a character-based tactical shooter. So, um, a not very expertly veiled knockoff of Rogue Company. But like it only looks that way on the surface. After playing the tutorial and doing like the fake like the mock match that you have to do to access the community features, um, it actually seems like a lot more in depth. So here on the footage that I've supplied for the vodcast, you'll see me playing as the character known as, gosh, what is her name? Rita, I think. And she's basically like this like musical idol, and she's like a DJ party music maker. And all of her abilities are centered around that. So everybody has innate abilities, like passives, just like in Rogue Company. And then they have ultimate abilities, which they say signature moves is what they're called. So I don't think they're ultimates. I just think that they are, you know, you know,
Are you
abilities
are
that
you
you activate.
teabagging?
I'm teabagging because I've done the tutorial like 3 times already. So
And you're like, I
I'm
need
just
the
waiting
footage.
for the yeah, well, I'm waiting for the, yeah, I needed footage for today because I didn't want to do like an actual match because I didn't want to, I wanted to show off the basics without being completely annihilated by the people who've been playing for longer than I have.
Sure.
So I'm doing the teabags because the lady's just talking like, and now I'm going to narrate before the actual things appear that you can do on the screen. So, um, but no, you have your melee weapon. You start out with a melee weapon. You don't start out with a weapon, as far as I know, opening into the match. You have to go into the market, just like in Roko, buy a weapon. You do start off with your melee weapon by default. So if you don't buy a weapon, you'll still have something to attack with. Um, so you do have to buy your sidearm. You do have to buy your main weapon here. You'll see in the video here, there's a tilting mechanic to scoping and aiming down the sights, which can be taken from, like if you have played Rainbow Six Siege before, you're used to that kind of mechanic. So there are different kinds of like what's the word I'm looking for? Artillery and things that you can buy. So like tactical devices. There are scanning grenades that you throw the grenade and they scan things. There's drones that you can fire. There's like smoke grenades and all the kind of bombardment that you're used to, especially if you play Rogue Company.
Mhm.
And
Rogue Company. You said it was a knockoff. Odysseus supplied some names here in chat. Thief Corporation, Scoundrel Incorporated, and Urchin Unlimited. Urchin Unlimited
Urchin Unlimited
is
I
a real
like.
winner in my book.
Yeah, because I love me some alliteration.
It's the good stuff. Wow, you just
It's
beat the crap out of that guy.
Yeah. So what's really cool about this is that along with your melee weapon, if you down somebody, you don't have to waste your bullets on them. You can just execute them straight up to death,
That's
just like in
nice.
what Apex Legends. So
Apex.
it's like a whole bunch of like an amalgamation of all these different things to make this one conglomerate of a game. Oh, conglomerate. That's another, um, synonym. The crook conglomerate.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, no, so far I've had a lot of fun exploring the different characters. They're really diverse in their abilities and their appearances. I think they're really cool. Of course, I think this is one of those games that takes place in a country where gambling is like, a bad thing. So I think it's Chinese in origin because there was an issue to where apparently in order to apply for the beta, you had to like there's like a $5 charge or something like that. And so it was considered gambling, and so right now, if you go, like, request a code on Steam, which is what I did, I was granted access immediately, and this was yesterday, like, last night at, like, 3 in the morning. Well, this morning then.
Yeah.
I was granted immediate access, and it's in their final beta period until the 6th of April. So if you're interested in this game, if you wanna check it out at least, I think it's worth a shot, and if you like games like Rainbow Six and Roko, especially since Roko seems to be kind of dwindling, the player base doesn't seem to be as active as it used to be, and Nexon did a really good job with the finals. So I don't know if maybe they're looking to
Whoa.
take over that whole.
I gotta say the text. Oh, I can't pause it and get my UI out of the way. The text is really small in this game.
Yeah. Well, right now you see me looking at the overview of the. I mean, on an actual monitor, it's not bad. But if you're watching just that little like picture in picture, you'll see. But that's basically you like the overview of the character's abilities and what they do. So Rita, for instance, she has a mood meter, and as things happen around her, like explosions and things like that, her mood boosts, and then her ultimate ability or her signature move is affected by that as well.
Wow.
So she can get better recoil, better movement speed, and things like that. Also, this game has something called it's called like a juggernaut,
Oh,
and it's like an objective defending suit. And I don't know how you get it. I think you have to buy it from the thing, and the tutorial just gave it to me for the purpose of showing it off.
that's
But it
dope.
is super armored, and it's on a timer. It's got this awesome like bull charge that basically just one shots people. And I think it's one of the things that you have to buy from the market in order to
Oh, that's
use.
cool.
Or maybe it's a perk that you get over time. I haven't actually delved into the game long enough to know. But it does have the different moves that you could come to expect from a tactical shooter. So it's got team deathmatch, it's got, defuse the bomb, things like that. But it also has a really neat mode where it's like a 5-on-5, like shrinking circle mode. It's not a big map like a battle royale. Like one of the maps that I saw was basically on a very small bridge affair, like a highway bridge.
Hmm.
So and then there's a shrinking area circle that you have to like navigate and defeat
Oh
all the
my
enemies
gosh,
into.
look how
So
cool. Is that your melee weapon?
yeah, it's a microphone, a thorned microphone.
That is awesome.
It's called the hell something. I can't
Oh
remember.
my gosh, let me get a look at this. So I always liked, Sonata from whatever that game was, where you bounce the baseball around the around the 2D screen.
Lethal League?
Lethal League. I always
Yeah.
loved Sonata because she had a super dope hammer that was like all speakers. So man, the people who are designing music-based weapons and games, they're crushing it.
Yeah.
You
Like
you could
say
say
I
that.
gravitated to her immediately because like she's purple green, she's got the diva aesthetic with the fur coat and everything, and she's got the cool ass microphone melee weapon, like you said. So like I was like, she's right up my alley. I'm still trying to get used to her abilities because I can't tell. There's no visual indicator about when my signature move is doing something at all. Like
Uh-huh.
I'll hear the noise that she literally just and like in the air.
Yeah, I saw
And
you doing it. Yeah, during the tutorial.
yeah, so that's her signature move. You use that, and then either she gets her recoil boost, her mood boost, or her movement boost. And I can't tell what the different sounds mean because there's no visual indicator at all that I've seen on the screen. There's no like visual aura, like a vignette or anything. There's no like little meter or something. There's no like text that pops up anywhere. So I'll just have to figure it out. I guess I don't know.
Well, this game looks cool. Looks stylish. The character looks really cool that you chose. What's her name?
Rita,
Rita.
also known as DJ Mad Queen.
DJ Mad Queen. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Eh,
The microphone. Oh my god, I love that name.
I'm here all day. You could say that my ideas really resonate with people.
Oh, all right now.
No, but this looks cool. How'd you play this? Like, how'd you download the game, and did you pay for it?
No, like I said, I just went out Steam and I just clicked request access. It's right now, it's like in its final beta period. So it's basically like requesting early access. You click on request access, and then as soon as I clicked that, it was just like, welcome to the game. You have been granted access, and then let me download the game and play it. So
Dope.
I'm not sure if as the beta period goes on, that will be the case. So if you like what you see or what you've heard, I would suggest checking it out. And I think it has a really cool, like robust community system as well because it operates on both the Steam and Nexon platform launchers. So for
Ooh.
like the clan system that I was showing at the end of the video there, you can actually start a clan and everything. Of course, mine is called Clan Sovereign, and our emblem is a purple castle. I tried to get it with the shield emblem, but apparently the shield emblem cannot be purple.
Wow.
So
Just saying,
whatever.
right.
Yeah, so I had to go with a hexagon.
Well, this game looks cool, but I'm gonna be honest. You need to cool it with the new game recommendations because now we have Leap, we have the finals, and we have this one. Let me get the name right again. Veiled
Veiled
Experts.
experts.
Gotta say, strange name.
Yeah, well, I think they were going for like the whole thing is like the societies become overrun with like these microchips, and then the pirates, like the cyber pirates, kidnap those microchips and make them better, and then those people are called the veiled experts because they are operating under the cover, and then those upgraded chips became like the norm, and now basically it's like agents against agents, and I
Oh
don't know,
God,
some wacky.
they've kidnapped the microchips. Anything
Don't
but
tell
that.
nobody tell Mesky Boy.
Well, cool. This looks cool, and based on how easy you made it sound to get in, this seems like it would be a wonderful thing for us to try out with our community. Um, you played PvP, I imagine, or is this just like did you play PvE only?
I just did the mock match, but there is PvP. You do have to do the training. You do have to do the tutorial and then the training mock match to access the real queue. Because I actually really like that because games nowadays people just hop in and they're just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm dead. Whoa, oh, that's okay. And it's just like I get you're learning, but like the tutorial, the
Come
training
on.
modes, do it. Yeah, come on, learn the controls at least, instead
Yeah.
of herp derping around. But they make you do that before you launch into the game for real, and I haven't done that yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, that was Veiled Experts. Yeah, honestly, I mean, all of these and Exoprimal all seem like they're worth picking up and trying with the squad. So, we mentioned it earlier about getting Vilos more people to talk about JRPGs with. But really, if you have a friend who you'd like to invite to this community, a lot of you know just how fun it is to play with each other across several different genres. So if you know a friend, invite them. The more people we can get playing these games, the more fun it's going to be, and the easier it'll be to find quality teammates, not just people to play with, but good people to play with, especially people who are just there to have a good time, and it doesn't matter so much about being good, because a lot of people are nervous to join groups of people they don't know because they're worried they're not good enough. Don't worry. They let me play with them, so it's really not a big deal.
Don't worry, Sob's good enough.
Sav will carry this team. It doesn't really matter what game we're playing most of the time.
Unless it's horror survival, then you have to hold my hand.
Hey, and that's okay.
You gotta let you get hit by a few buses every once in a while.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I was talking about Sons of the Forest. You didn't have to bring all that up.
So before we hop over to the party topic, I just want to shout out that Vilos. It looks like you beat the last level in 5 seconds of Love Hero.
No.
Just
No, it was a 4-minute round, and I lost my final life in the last 5 seconds.
The Millennial
So,
Dream.
yeah. I've died a little bit more tonight.
well,
Congratulations.
Just like that, Tegan. Just like that.
Thank you. Well, bummer. What, you had 400 seconds and it took 405? That's the karma you get for you and Chris beating that escape room with like a 30-minute escape room with literally 2 seconds on the clock. You can't.
It's got to come back to us at some point.
Can't get lucky every time. Okay. Well, if you guys are good to keep going, unless you need to take a break or anything, then we will move on to our party topic. So, lots of stuff in the news this week, actually. And I do want to shout out. We've got a very popular or a very active Discord. We also have an active Facebook community, but Discord's really the best place to go. If you ever want to get your gaming news without a Doom feed to scroll through, go no further than our Discord, which is discord.gg/partyinviteshow. It's really nice in there. Because I went on Twitter this weekend for like 5 seconds and I was crying. I'm just like, why did I do this? Everything's bad. The world's on fire. But we don't always talk about news here on the show. We have a little bit today more than usual, but we don't always talk about it. But I do want to shout that out. That if you're like me and you're quickly overwhelmed by negativity on social media, stick around. We've got lots of good places to talk about that stuff in a constructive way. So, I say all that because this party topic this week is the Zelda footage that we saw. We've been waiting for this game. I mean, this is one of the most highly anticipated games in the past decade, I feel. Breath of the Wild was huge, but now that we've seen what's possible, people are even more excited for the next one, for Tears of the Kingdom. So, details had been light until this week, and when we saw a 10-minute presentation on... I don't know if it was all gameplay, but I know there was just a lot of content in there. I have not watched it, which means, chat, pipe up. If you guys have questions, I'll apply them. I'll send them to these two. But you two both watched the footage. You have plenty to talk about, and hopefully I'll have, stuff to poke at you here. But you guys can start wherever, because, there was a lot on the table here. It seems like there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah. I'm super excited myself because like I wore my Zelda shirt today.
Oh,
Ta-da. From the symphony of the 25th anniversary, I think.
nice.
Yeah.
So where do we start? So we
Well,
we have
I could get there.
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it started off with the big hey, yo, these are sky islands.
Skylands.
That's the thing. That's what everybody has been wanting
I
to know.
wish they were called that.
Yeah.
They're
Is
not.
it
They're not Skylands.
is it Skylands? Is it Skyrule? Are we going there?
Skylander. Wait, oh, wasn't that a real series?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was the
yeah.
Spyro thing. Yeah. Well, no Skylander. Sorry, everybody.
So we've got the Sky Islands, and of course the number one thing was how do you get there? And of course we wanted story, but we got no story beats. We only got gameplay footage. But specifically to get to the Sky Islands, apparently the first way is a new ability called Recall. And so Aonuma showed off this new ability where you can see a piece of the islands falling down, and as it falls down, you track it. You go and find wherever it landed, and use the recall ability to basically stop time, like you could in the stasis previously. You hop on it, and then hit the piece of rock that came down with recall, and it literally just takes it back up, back in time, basically to where the rock started. And that's apparently one of many ways to get to these new Sky Islands.
I love the
One of the
idea
other
of that.
ones.
That's like not only does it offer this really interesting means of traversal, but you
Mm.
can do cool storytelling bits with that to be like, oh, look at this thing here. I wonder how it got here. And to be able to see that in reverse. I mean, imagine like the Fallout environmental storytelling, except you're able to see like the comical last moments actually play out.
Well, that'll be the fun thing because I think enemies would be really fun to do that too. But of course, we're going to have Koroks that we'll have to use the recall ability for. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, how
Um,
did the Koroks work? I only when I hear Korok, I only think of finding all those seats.
Oh yeah.
exactly. So, but the Korok seeds, like some of them, you really have to fucking try. And I mean, there's like what 1,200 or something that are in the game.
Is that
That most
confirmed?
people
In
are
this
never
one?
going to do. No, in the first one, in
Oh
Breath of
I
the
thought there were
Wild,
like 300, not
no.
there were at
1,200.
least 900.
There's at
Like,
least 1,000. I thought.
yeah,
Jeez, Lord.
there's a shit ton.
At least you get a
in the
really good
first game.
reward for finding all of them. So, jokes.
Uh,
Um, you get poop, everybody. You get poop. They give you
Hey,
poop.
it's golden poop.
it is very important.
Put it on the
Spoiler
fridge.
alert.
Yeah.
We just saved somebody like 60 hours.
Yes,
like,
we sure
come on.
did.
Or we really fervently fueled their next side quest.
So the next thing that they showed a little bit more of, just because I think mentioning it first and then we can talk about it helps a lot. Like, is the vehicles that we saw in the previous little trailer that everybody should have brick over. They're actually
Was it a Korok brick?
like, no, I wish it were. They're actually craftable vehicles. We get the vehicles by putting a whole lot of weird shit together. And there was
What?
a demonstration.
Did they
There was a
break like
demonstration
everything
where,
else?
like, technically they could
Maybe
probably break. They
you
didn't show
can
that off.
you can disassemble the things that you
Hmm.
assemble with the Ultra Hand, but it wasn't shown whether or not they would decay over time.
I really
Yeah.
hope you can crash and destroy your bike.
I mean, so again, it like Sob said, it's called the Ultra Hand ability, and you literally you just turn it on and you hover over whatever items you're trying to put together, and it just shows them selectable. Like it looks like a crafting like you would see in Sons of the Forest. You see it highlight. You see pieces highlight, and then you can choose to put them together however you want to. And Aonuma showed how to make a little raft with 3 logs and 2 fans,
Oh,
and that was only the beginning because he used that to get across the lake.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that because I was laughing so hard watching that video when he did that because it was just like, let me just build this raft. Oh, there's no like cloth or sails or anything like that. I wonder how I'm going to propel this really ancient, archaic vehicle across the water. Oh, a modern giant ass fan. Okay, let me just put that. I mean, you might as well just put like a motor engine right
Wait, it
there.
was
It
a
was just have
fan,
like
like
it was like an actual
He
fan. Yes.
it was two of them, and he said it in such a flat way like that.
Like it
He's
was
just
so
like,
deadpan too. He
oh
was
my
like,
god,
"Oh, there's wind. Okay, well, let
it's
me
like
just do this."
there's two turbines just sitting right next to
it's
you.
like,
Like,
oh look, there's a
all
V8
right,
engine over here.
Yeah, like for real.
yeah.
It was just like in the episode of Dave the Barbarian where he like the narrator's just like quickly thinking, Dave assembled a megaphone using a leaf, a squirrel, and a megaphone. And I'm like,
But it was right there. It was clearly the demo, but at the same time, whenever you're using the ultra hand, there are ways that you can tilt the items in different ways. Because at first, when you first see the fans, they're sitting just straight down on the ground, and they push him up. So when he uses the ultra hand, he actually put both fans on the back end of two of the logs of the raft in order to make it push forward. So like it was a lot in a short period of time. This whole video was, but those were the things that stuck out to me because it's one of those things that's going to influence games in the future. Like there's just so much.
I
also
saw
we got that Fortnite diving now. So that's gonna be fun.
Fortnite diving.
Yeah,
What?
I say it's the Just Cause diving because the level of skydiving, like the height that you can start from the Sky Islands, is
Skylands.
ridiculous.
You got it. You know.
Yes.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, I think we do have to separate it officially. Just like when I was in training for Nintendo, they wouldn't let us say Wiimote. We actually had to say Wii Remote.
boo.
Yeah, yeah. So
But yeah, he got knocked off of one of the islands whenever he was fighting something, and he just let himself fall for a little bit. Of course, he's just sitting there flailing. But
As you do.
then you can also probably just press down on the stick or whatever, and like speed down if you really want to. And it was seamless. And the fact that the game went gold like a few days ago, um, it's pretty clear that that should be how it runs. I don't foresee the game having trouble this time around. So like the fact that it's so perfect right now that it could potentially be this seamless open world again is really awesome to add those little extra features.
So, elephant in the room for me. Is the Switch actually gonna run this game well on day one?
Absolutely.
it looked like it, yeah. Like when he was
Yeah, well, Breath of the
skydiving,
Wild looked great too, but then when people booted it up, I'm like, your frame rate's like 12, And it's not like that anymore, but it was when it first came out.
I mean, we do have like the more powerful units now, like in the OLED switches, which I mean announced they did have a Tears of the Kingdom one.
And it looks
So
pretty cool.
it does look pretty cool. Lord Chrome actually like reserved one, so he's finally gonna get a Switch again. I'm so happy for him because been something he's been like talking about for like a long time.
Yeah.
But when he was skydiving and everything, you could like look around and see all of the around. Like
Yeah.
there was no draw distance, and and you could very definitively clearly see like things where you could like go and points of interest and things like that. And that was one of the things that people were upset about in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because it's supposed to have one of those big old open worlds too, and you're going to be all up in the sky with your gliding creature. There's nowhere to glide to until you're like 30 meters away from it, and it's just like, oh, there it is. But
Yeah.
in this game, it doesn't seem to be much of a problem. I think it's more optimized for the newer systems. So maybe if you have a day one Switch, it might be an issue, but we don't know. We don't know. Nintendo's actually surprisingly good at optimization, so we'll see.
Okay. What else did we see? We saw stuff about crafting because I saw that great meme. I should have it in front of me, but it was like it was a tweet from Imran Khan. I know I can find it here. It's like they doubled down on durability. They're like, oh, you guys like weapon durability, and then it was like there was a drawing of a sword that was like a bunch of sticks and rocks just like glued together. The same way that like
my favorite.
in the original Last of Us, the joke was that like Joel just keeps taping pairs of scissors to things and then calling them upgraded. It's just it's just the silly thing of like weapon durability was a contentious issue in the first game, in Breath of the Wild, and this seems like I mean, I did not watch the video, so I only know what memes have told me. But it seems like you can just craft a lot of stuff now using a lot of random materials, which I think is cool because it really gives you a reason to want to pick up extra things. And I think the weapon durability is cool. I get why people wouldn't like it. Get it? But that just doesn't apply to me. And the idea of picking stuff up and being able to MacGyver it into some janky but possibly very powerful weapon is very appealing to me. You know, the idea that whatever weapon you make might kind of be like a one of a kind weapon that only you have wielded, you know?
The really fun part of it in the video is that we don't know the full boundaries of it yet, but he made it seem like there is a limit that it's just two items together. Um, but it's for very specific uses, and like there's still a shit ton of things that we could never even guess what they would do together.
Yeah, people are still
Because
finding things to do in Breath of the Wild
exactly,
today. So
yeah.
who knows what
Right.
kind of possibilities this is going to open up.
Yeah, so the very first one actually got me. I was like, "Oh shit, that's just too helpful." But if you can actually put an arrow and an eyeball together, and it turns it into a homing arrow,
What?
which
Oh,
is
that's
the
pretty.
best.
That's pretty cool.
And he showed it off and shot two birds down, and it was nothing. He literally was like, here, let me get this bird, and he popped it, and it was fine. And then he's like, okay, now this time I'm not gonna really look at it. And he just like glanced at a bird and looked away, and then shot, and it went right to it.
Really?
um and
Yeah.
it's like this game is all about making everything so much easier, so it's like, where is this game gonna get hard? Like,
It's like
you know,
sandbox,
it's
but it's
gonna be,
like accessible sandbox.
yeah, it's giving you all the tools this time around. Now, of course, do we have to earn them all over again? Is the question, you know?
Like I'm interested in finding out like is there a way that we can save like the recipes for crafting? Like once we discover it, will they just be in our inventory forever like in our compendiary which is a softionary word because that's not real. Uh, like in Valheim, can we like reference it later just in case we forget like a certain recipe or things like that? Like cuz one of my big qualms is like crafting as a main game mechanic anyway. I don't like crafting. I don't like it as a main mechanic. I don't want to do it to succeed in something like as a requisite. I like it as like a sub thing. Like I loved cooking in Breath of the Wild, you know, because if you it promoted trying out all these different things and getting better recipes and things like that. But I didn't need to do that to like heal and get boosts and things like that. It was just fun. But like I I don't know. And I just might be like a naysayer about crafting in general, but I mean, a rock and a stick together makes a cool hammer and it extends the durability and whatnot. That's cool. And then the stick and the pitchfork makes the spear thing. But like, just give me a longer spear thing. Just give it to me. I don't have to make it.
But I mean, you're gonna have to fight everything anyway, Sav. So like, just get over it, you know.
Ugh.
Well,
But it's not just about crafting. There was another example in there that I'd kind of forgotten just now, but um, it just makes things so much simpler. The big thing, though, to me was what speedrunners are already like screaming over.
the
Is
game's not even out and they've beaten
the
it in record time.
Yeah. Well, what did you hear, Sav, about the ascend ability?
I mean, only what the video showed that you can use it to literally scale mountains in a second.
That seems good.
Yeah, I mean, if you go inside a cave, and I mean, if there's a mountain that has a cave, and the cave has a ceiling, which it will usually, you just use ascend because it allows you to pass through the ceiling to get on top of whatever that ceiling belongs to. So,
Who came
like,
up
if
with
you're in
this
a cave,
ability?
you can get out of a cage, and like, if you're standing underneath like a little awning or something, you'd be like, bloop, oh, I'm on top of the awning now. So, um, he used it in this cave, and this mountain was like massive, right? And he was just like swimming through the ether, and then there he was on top of the mountain.
As you do.
So that's all I know
Yeah,
so
that
far.
was that was the ability that we saw in the other couple trailers. That everybody's like, wait, what is that? It's literally just giving Link clipping ability. So it's gonna get broken day one, the second people start. But he literally said, and he was very adamant. He said it like 3 or 4 times. He's like, if it has a ceiling, you can use it. Period. And the way he was talking the whole time, you're like, he's just like, I know you fuckers. Like, you're gonna love this shit. Like,
I
it was
wonder
really
if you get
fun.
close enough to like a sky island, like say you're like on the world's tallest mountain on the ground, like on the actual surface level, and you could see a skylight island. I wonder if you can use ascend, look at the quote unquote ceiling of the island, and then bloop, like it does.
I bet there's gonna be an upgraded version of it that has that strength. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, this game is gonna be so cool. But I'm mad because that trailer didn't show. You already know what I'm about to say. It's called Tears of the Kingdom. Tears implies water, implies hydration, implies Ganondorf being rehydrated. Let me see my rehydrated Ganondorf. Give him to me. Do not make me have to come and hunt you guys down. Give me the footage. I need the receipts. I need the portraits.
She needs
Okay.
a hydrated Ganondorf stat. She thirsty. All right.
I am thirsty. He needs to be the new mascot for Sprite. Quench my thirst, dang it. I'm sick of the waiting. Give him to me.
It just ain't right. It just ain't right.
Do I have to craft him? Is that
Yeah, you'll have to craft him. He's part Korok, so it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
all right? Okay, so
Part.
get
Yeah.
some red leaves and then like, a bunch of rocks and a big old tree.
But yeah, it's that the gameplay was awesome. It was almost the entirety of that video, without the console and the Pro Controller announcement, which I'm a little bit more of a fan of the Pro Controller, I think, than the system itself. But those are going to be
I don't
awesome.
think I saw that one.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's the opposite of how I felt about the Splatoon ones because I really,
Mhm.
really like the Splatoon Joy-Con. The gradient on those were like immaculate, and then the Pro Controller came out. I was like, better not.
Well, excellent. Okay. Well, what if we missed? Chat, do you have any questions? I mean, that all sounds pretty dope to me. Did they do anything with cooking? We've talked about crafting for sure, but did they show off any new cooking stuff? I thought the cooking was fine before. I don't know if it needs any change.
Yeah, I liked the cooking because it was optional crafting.
Yeah.
Optional.
It is nice. Like a lot of games like Valheim or Sons of the Forest use food exclusively for buffing yourself. So by not eating, you're not starving to death. Like some games, like Don't Starve, or even like Project Zomboid or something. It is nice when you're able to use that, and then you don't have that constant timer of I will be in danger soon if I don't take immediate action, And so, like while open worlds, like I haven't played Breath of the Wild. I've played maybe 5 hours of it, and it was cool. But much like how I'd rather watch Skyrim these days, I'd rather watch Breath of the Wild. But all of these crafting abilities, and I really like cool traversal, which Breath of the Wild did have. But this has even more of that. So, I mean, this is really appealing to me, someone who was pretty sure he wasn't going to play the new Zelda game. Not because it wasn't going to be good enough, but because it's a long, huge game that I just don't know if I have time to play. So I'll still watch people play it. But, the optional crafting that you mentioned with the cooking, with the item building, with making your own potentially destructible, I hope destructible, vehicle, with a power hand. Why is it called power hand?
Ultra hand.
Ultra hand. Sorry, mine didn't even make sense.
What's really funny is that like it doesn't even like stick them together like with super cool technology or whatever. It's literally you put the items together and they gunk. They gunk together. It's so gross looking. It's like this green glowing putty and then like when you disassemble the things, it like schlups apart. It's like
So I got a couple things to add to that. So there actually is a reason for it to be called Ultra Hand, Tegan.
Because
you didn't hear it, Sav? Okay. So yeah, the Ultra Hand was a fucking Nintendo toy in the 1960s.
What?
Wait, do you mean the power?
Look it
glove?
up.
The
No,
Power Glove?
the Ultra Hand. This is a toy. Just type in Ultra Hand. It'll be the first thing that pops up on Google.
Ultra Hand is a toy that was manufactured by Nintendo in the late 1960s. The 60s?
Oh,
That's
it's
a
that
long
thing.
time ago.
Yeah, and it's recognizable, right? But
Oh, it's like
over here, we don't really know of it as what it is.
It looks like if you combined a slinky and those tiny little grabbers with the trigger,
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
pick up trash with. Wow,
Yep.
people used to just love novelty
It looks like one
toys.
of those like spring-loaded punching gloves, but without the punching glove on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. The Ultra Hand, man, I never knew.
Yeah, so there was a reason for that, and then the other fuse that I had forgotten that they showed off, which was really funny, was fusing a mushroom on a shield.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
What?
If you're just failing at the battle, maybe you lost your last weapon or something. Just craft a mushroom, fuse a mushroom onto your shield, and the next time it gets hit, you can basically make a cloud of fog appear on impact, so you can scurry away. And it's got little stealth impacts. A lot of cool things that you could do.
Can
They
you
were
can you put
showing
a
off.
bomb on your shield and it just blows up without you taking damage, like in Majora's Mask?
I
Who
mean, yeah,
knows?
probably. You should be able to, because like one of the other things was like choo choo jellies. They didn't make it 100% clear if it's maybe only maybe not only edible items, but mostly edible items. They showed off using one of those giant leaves, and using a leaf to like blow somebody away, like with another weapon, or like using a choo choo jelly with a sword or with an arrow, and you can shoot and freeze somebody at a distance instead of just hoping that you find a pot that you come across one of the frost wands or whatever.
Or like
Um,
actual ice arrows.
yeah, or actual ice
See, that
arrows.
kind of thing I like. I like that part of the crafting because like in an emergency situation where I'm running out of like the ice arrows, it's like, oh well, I need, it's the weakness of this enemy. I need to have ice arrows. And in that kind of situation, I have the option to craft like the ice arrows. I think that's nice because it's like subsidiary.
Hmm.
Um, but they do also just straight up give me ice arrows. So
But maybe there are fewer people. It did kind of look like maybe there are fewer moblins perhaps in this game. We didn't
yeah, everything
really
was replaced by
see it.
something called constructs. Those are the only enemies that we saw him fight. Although we did see a horse, so there's still organic life somewhere. You know, um,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really funny to see like use recall for like a whole bunch of like combat options. So when enemies throw things or shoot things at you, just know you,
Yeah.
just like know you and back to their
Reverse.
or if they're running at you, just send them running backwards back to where they came from.
That would be
That's
really
cool.
fun.
Man, this game is going to drop, and there are going to be so many good clips from it. I'm really excited. I mean, Breath of the Wild was the gift that kept on giving for years. People were still coming out with new, great little bits, little video clips of that game because it gives you so many things to discover. I mean, all of what you've outlined with that crafting system, as if there weren't already enough things um, with the recall ability and with doing cool vehicle things. Gosh, I mean, we're gonna have weeks of nonstop like, look at this dumb crazy thing.
I feel like somebody's gonna make a fucking Zord out of Guardian body parts or something. Like, just
That
make
would
a
be
super
so
Guardian
cool.
and just like walk around.
Oh
I don't know.
shit!
Freaking
Like, I've
horseman.
Almost like a
somebody's gonna do some weird
like
stuff.
a Chinese New Year dragon or something.
Oh,
Uh,
like one of the Lion Parade dragons, yeah.
yeah. Man, I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. It's fun to surprisingly be hyped about an IP that you didn't think you had anything left for you. Like certainly to play. I mean, in Diablo 4 this past weekend. Now, the Breath of the Wild is like straight up on my radar. I mean, about a year ago, Elden Ring came out, and within 24 hours of its release, I went from not caring to picking it up and loving it, and that was my game of the year last year. So, uh, I know Lizzie's gonna play this game. Maybe I'll be able to, maybe I'll be able to pry the Switch out of her hands for long enough to play a little bit. But probably I'll just be content watching her because this all sounds fantastic.
May 12th.
May 12th. Man, that's
Oh,
that's
did we actually get a launch date?
not
I
far away.
didn't see
Yeah,
that. Hmm.
May 12th. The system is April 28th, and I
The
think I think a few days later is the Pro
You said
Controller.
the console is April 28th?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, go look that up. It's very cool looking. It's got this nice intricate design that a lot of the Breath of the Wild stuff had. That's not really like anything else I've seen, especially like hardware wise, like the custom stuff. Yeah, I think they did a good job art-wise with all of that. Like, it's very unique. Well, cool. Well, that is Tears of the Kingdom. It's nice to be able to dive into the newsy bits this week. So yeah, unless we have anything else to say, I think we'll wrap up the show and we'll end up moving on to Pentiment here in a little bit. Just a reminder again, check out our Discord. It's got lots of news and wonderful places to enjoy gaming things without the judgment of the rest of the internet. It's wonderful. You can also play with us in our wonderful community, playing a lot of survival and crafting games, all sorts of stuff like that. We also play a bunch of shooters and other stuff. But as I mentioned earlier when we briefly talked about E3, when that happens, well, when not E3 happens in the, around June 9th or whatever days those are, we will be having special things in our community to watch and listen and chat about those things in real time. So, we'll keep you posted, keep an eye on our socials and all that stuff. But bring a friend, I remember Chris and I, some of the earliest gaming stuff that we ever bonded over was E3. We chatted online one time, and then one of the first times that he and I ever met, I went over to his apartment and plopped on his couch, and I think Overwatch had just come out recently before that, and we're each playing Overwatch on two different TVs with his roommates, and then E3 stuff started back up, and so we had Overwatch on one screen and E3 on the other, and it was great. That was a really fun memory. We did that with the Game Awards as well. It was good stuff. So we love that stuff around here. We'll have more of it in the future, and enjoying that stuff with the community live in real time is really nice. Plenty of people are content to just check out the hits, check out the headlines. But if you're somebody who really needs that kind of social excitement, like I do, then stick around, because those are some wonderful times.
And happy Mod Appreciation Day.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Actually, this is a perfect time, since we're still in the podcast. I want to shout out Odysseus here. Odysseus NSJ. You can see him in chat. You can find him on Twitch, twitch.tv/Odysseus NSJ. If you don't know how to spell Odysseus, go read a book. No, but actually, you can Google it to find that out. He is a wonderful mod who has been streaming every single day in the month of March. As far as I know, he has not missed a single day. But Odysseus has a lot to do with why our community has been so strong over the past couple of years. He's always been there to help rally the troops to get games going, to help people with stream stuff, and this, that, and the other. So, Odysseus, we appreciate you. We're going to give you a shout out here in chat. Because if you like our stuff here on Party Invite, you will like Odysseus's channel. And with that, I think that's all we got, huh? I think that's a show.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Check out our website at partyinvite.games. We've got some stuff up there, especially our links to all of our socials. Yeah, we've got all of the stuff coming up that Sav has pointed out lately that I'd love to do for future community games. If you're somebody who is down to play experimental games that might have some jank, in fact, that's half the fun of it a lot of the times, then join up. We'd love to play, and like I said, invite your friends. So, Leap, the finals, Velvet Underground, or whatever what is it, Veiled Experts?
Velvet Revolver.
Yes, thank you.
Also, Odie did mention Deceive Inc. is starting to get some traction as well, which is a game that I mentioned on this podcast before, sometime middle of last year when it was in closed alpha. It is now, I think it actually is leaving beta soon.
What's it called?
So, Deceive Inc.
Deceive
It's like
Inc.
an espionage battle royale, sort of. Not battle royale. I don't know how to describe it really, but it was a lot of fun when I had, when I talked about it last time, and I might dive into it here soon and talk about it next week.
Bet. Okay, then we'll take a short break before playing Pentiment. Everybody stick around. Thank you for sticking around for you know what? I came up with something before the show and I forgot to use it at the beginning, but thank you for accepting our invitation. And, yeah, we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Okay, bye!
Bye!
Bye.